going on? Good.
Look as good as Markel was the other night with his penetration. How tough of a loss is that not having him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously that's where we're lucky. MCW can move over and play, and West has played well. So we have the depth, and it's like any other thing. You wouldn't want to, play without Markel for 2 weeks, but hopefully it'll just be one night.
Is there a duo that strikes you as in better sync defensively than those two guys that they have?
And I mean, and the thing is that they've really done a good job. They've surrounded them with all these like old pros. They're not even that old, but they are so experienced and they play such an intelligent game at both ends of the floor. So they've got the right type of guys to play with superstars, and I mean the way they're playing, the balance of their play, it's they're playing really, really well for this time of year.
Steve, what's it been like to look at the tape and see Dwight Howard sort of thriving in a bench context after?
And I think the thing for me is that I'm happy for him, and the biggest thing is I don't think, again, just because I was with him when he was young, is I'm not sure people are grasping how hard he's worked to get his body to be able to do this. You're talking about a guy that when he was young, it was always a question of how long will he be able to play because his knee was so bad. Then here, he has major back surgery, which is he's never been the same. He's still athletic now, even today. But I mean, he was just so quick and explosive before that. And then last year, I mean, that was a major injury in Washington, with the groin, hamstring, whatever. And I know how much he had to do in Charlotte just to get his body ready. And it's everything now. I mean, when he was younger, listen, he could, kind of eat what he wanted, show up and play. Because the other thing is he's super, super smart. But now, I mean, it's diet, it's flexibility. I mean, the guy has to put so much into it just to be able to go out there every night.
What have you told your guys throughout last year you pretty much had the same guys for all 82, pretty much. And obviously this year that hasn't been the case. What do you tell them about the difference in mentality when you show up at the arena, you don't know who you're going to have or what it's going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I do just what I've learned from the guys I've worked for. You know what? We don't even talk about it very much, to be honest. Is like, this is who we have tonight. Kind of the Van Gundy way always was. It's more about how we play than who we're playing. And our guys have done a good job, in this stretch. Playing without Vooch is difficult. We lose Farouk. We played a bunch of games without MCW. We have good depth. The guys that have come in, they've done a good job. And, those guys are getting closer to getting back. But, I mean, I don't know how else you can do it. I mean, it's like anything, right? You tell the players all the time, you're going to play your best when you're worried about the right things. And I think for a coaching staff, it's the same way. We can sit here and say, without Vooch, we can't do this, this, and this. It's not helping. It's not helping. So you lock into the group that you have and you try to, help them play the best that you can. So even in Milwaukee, and they're terrific. I mean, we're down 6 late. I mean, our guys fought hard and we played a good game.
Clifford. Howard, McGee, and of course Davis. Is the length and the size of LA's players going to be an issue?
It changes everything. They're first in block shots. They're first in block shots. They're first in deflections. I want to say they're either first or second in steals. So they score a ton off their defense, and it's going to start tonight with we can't turn the ball over. We have to make good decisions when we drive the ball to the basket because they're coming to block. And then we're going to have to rebound with those guys too.
Welcome back.
Hey, what's up?
It's a familiar place. You're the star. What's it like to be back?
I got a lot of it's great. I got a lot of old friends, enjoying reconnecting with some people, and but still remaining focused on trying to get done better.
You've always been about positivity and perspective. Were there moments from here that have kind of prepared you for where you are right now and the success you're experiencing?
Of course, I think every game you coach, every team you're with, you learn lessons and you try to improve as a coach, and that was no different here. I studied the game. This is a transitional phase of the NBA when I was here. The spread 5 era and the 3-point line era was blossoming, and there was a lot of shifting in styles of play. So I learned a lot during my time here.
When it comes to tonight, from the injury front, Avery was listed as probable. What's the latest with him?
He's going to play. He'll have a 15-minute restriction. He'll come off the bench, and we're excited to have him back.
Does KCP stay then in the starting lineup?
Your time here made you a better coach. I mean, you talked about, you almost had to relearn things because the team went big just as the league was going small. Did it make you better going forward?
I definitely think it did. Like I said, it was the sort of the transition of the league, going to a spread 5 era, and my defense is in Indiana. We had to break a lot of the rules that we use there to adapt to the modern NBA. And during those 2 years, I definitely did learn a lot about the new game, and evolved my offensive and defensive systems.
Frank, those guys in that locker room said they're pulling for you, they're so happy for you, things like that. How much pride does that give you?
Yeah, it makes me proud. The relationships that you build when you're with the team for a couple of years, that's what you take away, and those are the things that are most valuable. And I would reciprocate their feelings. I pull for those guys, all the guys over there that I coached. I root for them to do well. Certainly not tonight, but I value those relationships.
Frank, when you were living here after you left the Magic, did you ever come back into this arena at all?
In my sabbatical year, I did not. Nope. Not once. Not for a concert, not for anything. No. I think I went to a concert.
Do you still have your house here?
I do not. Yeah.
Frank, you've coached against Dwight, obviously, a number of years, but now having him, he seems to be flourishing for you. What's that relationship been like? How's this year been for him?
Dwight's been fantastic. I'm really enjoying my time with him. He and I have sort of crossed paths over the years as opponents, and we've always had positive interactions. And I knew he was at a place in his career where he had to adjust some things with regard to the role that he's going to play on teams if he's going to prolong his career. And to me, it really fit what we were looking for. And, a great meeting in the summer. He's really bought into bringing a seriousness about his business, about his approach. He's been all business, and he's really bought into that defensive rebounding, lob threat, roller type of role. As opposed to being the focal point of the offense, playing through him in the low post. It's a big shift, but he's really embraced it and excelled in that. He's going to star in his role.
Frank, when the X's and O's are named LeBron and Anthony Davis, does that make you a smarter coach?
Of course. All coaches are smarter with great players.
You're the number one team in the West. You're the number one team in the West. You have a lot of momentum. How exactly do you keep your foot on the gas knowing that everything's going your way so far early in the season?
It's easy. Stay in the moment. We know that things can change very quickly. We've not really accomplished anything yet. We have a long way to go to continue to improve and to continue to sustain what we have achieved from a habit standpoint. And if you stay in the moment and focus only on the game in front of you, hopefully you can continue your success.
Frank, do you have any hard feelings about the Magic? I mean, you didn't get that long to sort of prove yourself. Your injury ravaged that final year. Any hard feelings at all?
Thankful for the opportunity that the DeLoss family, Alex Martins, gave me to be their coach, and no hard feelings.
How is Jonathan Isaac different from when you coached him?
I think he's just more confident, and the game slowed down for him. Certainly, he was elite as a defender the minute he put a Magic uniform on, and obviously he's continued to grow in that regard. He's just an exceptional defender, and happy for his success. But I think offensively is where the game has slowed down for him. He's really shooting the ball well on the perimeter, making solid plays off the bounce, and he was a huge part of their run last year, and a huge part of their early success this year.
Do you have Rondo?
Rondo's going to be a game time decision. He's going to see how he feels pregame.
What has he done over the last couple of days?
Yeah, just some light shooting. We as a team haven't done much. So he's going to test it out. Really give it a good run pregame and see how it feels.
Frank, how do you, when LeBron and AD are already showing this incredible, symbiosis, whatever they got going on the defensive end, how do you as a coach look at that and say, I still got to find ways to make that better? How do you take something that's been that good so far and make it better?
Well, it can still be better on both ends of the floor, and that's part of coaching an 82-game season, and hopefully into the playoffs is your team always evolves, and with those two guys on both ends of the floor, there's things that we continue to explore and tweak, and things happen naturally that you say, let's put that in. That looked good, and it's just some random action, and those are just part of the things that naturally evolve throughout the season.
Craig, with this latest setback from Kuzma, he already spoke to us about patience needing to be necessary on his part over the last several weeks. Who stays connected with him? How do you guys make sure he still feels part of what's going on while he's dealing with another injury?
Well, he's still with us. It's not hard to stay connected when you're meeting with him every day, and we've been to dinners with him, and individual meetings when needed, but obviously not overdoing it. He's a big part of our success so far this season, and the injuries have been a frustration point for him, understandably. He has high expectations for what he's going to mean to our team, and to not be at your best, it can be frustrating. So, we're just hopeful to get him fully healthy, and he can contribute at the level that we know he's capable of.
This is the first time he's been able to be a part of a winning group like this, and obviously coming in, there was a lot of anticipation about how big of a role he would have on this team. The offensive numbers probably aren't where he would have liked them. Have you had to do any maintenance on kind of just his spirit over the course of this year?
Of course, I always try to make sure all of our guys feel like they're contributing, no matter what level it is, and I'm enjoying coaching the little details and habits with him. He's still a young player. He still has a lot of room to grow, but he does some things naturally, instinctually, that help us right now. We definitely try to spend some one-on-one time with him, and make sure that he's got the proper attention in our film sessions, to the positive things he's doing, and he's going to have a great season for us.
Coach, back to Avery for 1 second. Does the Avery Challenge still apply?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I'm puzzled on that one. Hopefully with him back in the lineup, we just automatically will hold teams to under 100 points per possession, and we won't even have to answer that question. But it's a challenge when he's on a minutes restriction. I think probably it still applies until the minutes restriction is gone.
Okay.
With the size and skill disparity that you have at certain positions, is it only a matter of time before you start winning the free throw disparity?
Well, I'm hopeful. We go to the basket pretty hard, and don't always get whistled, but that's part of the game. We really don't focus on that. We don't try to get to the line. We try to attack the basket to score, and if the defense can't stop us, they got to put us to the line, and so be it.
Coach, you guys are obviously incredibly talented, but what is it like coaching a group of guys that truly enjoy playing with each other?
It's a breath of fresh air. It really is, and it's really rare that it happens in the NBA. Where a group really genuinely likes each other on and off the basketball court, and it's just fun to be around every day, and you try not to take it for granted, and try to enjoy it and make the best of it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.